There you go. This book, 1,131 pages of how to score high on the SAT. Something that every high schooler hoping to continue their education in college has to do. Anyone can take this book and study till their heart gives out to achieve a perfect score on their SAT. But what does that mean for that student? What are the students who have to fight to make it and don't have a hand on their back pushing them forward? Like many others, I was one of those students. While juggling AP courses and dual enrolling classes, a strong hand in athletics, I was prompted to spend my spare time cramming for a test with this very book. What can I say I learned from this? Well, it is very hard to speed read 5 different articles in a short amount of time and answer as many questions as I can. And P.S., you got to go back through and answer all the ones you didn't bubble because you might get an answer right. How does that possibly determine your success for future education? Now, if you didn't understand that statement, chances are you're older than I and you did not go through the teach-to-test period invoked by standardized testing. But those who fall victims to this horror know exactly what I mean. If you can't see the problem with standardized testing with what I just told you, let me further describe its terrors and consequences and what might work to fix this issue, and as what you as a functioning member of society can do to prevent this burden on future students. So, the first problem, it leaves a lasting impression on young learners, and not in a good way, not like this picture. So, Alfie Kahn, a proponent of progressive education, states in his case against standardized testing that in the U.S., we subject children as young as 6 years old to standardized testing, even though all experts in child education say it's wrong. I myself can remember taking my SAT for the 3rd time my senior year, and there was children this small walking into the classroom, brought with their parents and sitting down next to me, being handed the same exact test. That's it, identical to mine. Why does a student like this have to worry about these things? Why shouldn't they be out playing and learning like this? But no, instead these students are waking up at the crack of dawn to take a 3-hour and 50-minute test. And it's no blame on the parents. This is what must be done to achieve high enough test scores required by the top universities. Standardized testing also works to test the average. So Todd Rose, right here, co-founder of Populous, a social impact organization, has a book titled The End of Average, where it discusses standardized testing and its further inspection by brain scans. Every student is completely unique in how they perceive the world around them. He states, our modern conception of the average person is not mathematic truth, but human invention, created a century and a half ago by 2 European scientists to solve social problems of their eras. So what Rose is studying is something that's very difficult to solve, but absolutely critical for discovering a new way of learning besides standardized testing. As we all know, humans love to put numbers on things, speed limits, analytical data. Numbers kind of make us feel safe, like we know what we're talking about. So when the nation wants education reform, politicians just want to get those numbers up, and it makes no actual change. So now that you understand the problem at hand, let's take a look at some possible ways to solve this problem of standardized testing. So, a solution to this problem can be to focus on more personalized learning, such as Montessori education. The website of Montessori Northwest describes Montessori education as a method of education based in self-directed activities, hands-on learning, collaborative play, and creativity. Now this may seem like it's for little kids and it wouldn't work for older students, but that's because it is for little kids, but it has to be worked. So what we need to do it outside of private education for older students. Rather than pushing students to achieve a certain score on a test, we work to push students towards attaining their own unique level of knowledge. After all, that's all there is. We're all unique. Montessori education allows for creative minds of students to grow and not be held back by the idea that there's only one answer to the question. So, the positives of standardized testing. Now, this is an iffy subject to argue. While there are many negatives accredited with standardized testing, there are many positives as well. So, outlined in the official College Board website show the benefits of standardized testing, which it adds to college admissions in the U.S. You must have standardized testing scores to get to higher education, unless it's a private school. And the analytical data brought along with the scores of SAT. So, now that we've highlighted the solutions and possible arguments for standardized testing, we can try to visualize the impacts of these on education. So if a Montessori-style education is brought up rather than a standardized testing, we spend more time focusing on the students' creativity and whatnot, we would usher in a new era of learning where students would not only be able to explore the academic world, but also their own place in this world. With practice, students will grow to no longer graduate high school having no idea what they want, or graduating college having no idea what they want. They will have passion which drives them. Conclusion. What I've tried to persuade you today is understanding standardized testing, while it may have some benefits, is crippling for students who are not well suited for the test-taking environment. These students may not score high on their standardized test, but that does not mean it does not truly show their talents. Standardized testing teaches us that when confronted with a problem, there's only one answer, and all others are wrong. We cannot be condemned to a future of mechanized students who only know that one answer. If you feel strong about this content of this speech and argument against standardized testing, you can make direct efforts to change by going online and checking out IDEA down here, it's a little blurry, which stands for Institute for Democratic Education in America, where you can actively partake in projects which input new types of learning in place of standardized testing all over the nation. Thank you.